This is the luxury world. Get inspired with us today and tomorrow. For watch aficionados, owning a Rolex is a lifelong aspiration fulfilled. However, owning a Rolex goes beyond just buying one. Lately, there has been an interesting trend. Rolex watches, especially sought-after ones, are frequently bought and sold shortly after purchase, often for a profit. But how does Rolex keep track of whether you have sold your cherished timepiece? In this video brought to you by the Luxury World, we will explore the secretive techniques Rolex along with its authorized dealers might use to monitor these resold watches, examining the motivations behind their interest and the effects on collectors and the brand's reputation. If you have yet to subscribe to our channel, we highly recommend doing so now to stay informed about our future video releases. With the increasing difficulty of acquiring Rolex watches and their limited availability, discussions about the resale of Rolex watches purchased from authorized dealers have gained prominence. Those unfamiliar with the intricacies of the Rolex market might be surprised to discover that selling a recently acquired Rolex demands finesse. The truth is that the Rolex watch market possesses distinct characteristics. Before delving into how Rolex discerns whether a watch has been sold, it is essential to grasp the unique dynamics of the Rolex watch market. In the opulent realm of luxury watchmaking, Rolex reigns supreme as a prominent figure. However, beneath its impeccably crafted exteriors and steep price tags lies a covert world, the discreet market of pre-owned Rolex timepieces. These highly sought-after watches, often procured through extensive waiting lists and clandestine transactions, embark on a mysterious journey from wrist to online listings, their worth ascending like inflated balloons. The surge in demand for Rolex watches has sparked discussions about flippers. This refers to the individuals who swiftly resell their newly acquired timepieces. Whether this poses a significant issue is still a topic of debate. However, there have been indications suggesting that Rolex is actively trying to identify those involved in this practice. While only Rolex can confirm the truth of such claims, credible sources have hinted at these efforts. Such actions would not be unexpected, considering Rolex's commitment to ensuring their watches reach their intended customers. Some authorized Rolex dealers, though not directly affiliated with Rolex, have hired agents to monitor online platforms where customers sell watches purchased from their stores. On occasions, buyers have faced restrictions on buying additional watches from these dealers after their resale of sought-after timepieces was detected. Rolex employs three primary methods to identify if a watch has been quickly resold. Let us discuss each one of them to explore the topic further. Rolex uses the method of authentication. One way a Rolex dealer might learn about the sale of a watch is if someone brings the watch to their store for authentication. This scenario is fairly common, especially for local sales. For instance, imagine you buy a Rolex and list it for sale on a local platform. If a buyer in your area purchases the watch and later decides to authenticate it, they might choose to visit the same dealer where you originally bought it. In such a case, the dealer would discover that you have sold the watch. A comparable situation could arise later, such as when the watch needs servicing or repairs. If the new owner takes the watch to the same dealer for maintenance, the dealer may once again become aware of its resale. To reduce the likelihood of such scenarios, a strategic move is to ensure that the watch you sell ends up in a location far from where you originally bought it. This strategy is particularly relevant in smaller countries with a limited number of authorized dealers. If you sell your Rolex locally in such a country, there is a greater chance that someone might eventually visit the same dealer with the watch. To avoid this, it can be wise to sell the watch outside your country or region, thereby reducing the chances of it catching the attention of the original dealer. Rolex uses the serial number as a means of verification. Another method involves identifying a watch through its unique serial number listed online. By using this serial number, Rolex can trace the original authorized dealer that sold the watch and then notify them of the customer's resale. Once the dealer is informed, they may choose to blacklist the customer. This is why many online advertisements hide the serial number and discreetly skip details about where the watch was originally purchased. It is not only Rolex itself that monitors online watch sales. An increasing number of Rolex retailers actively search the internet for watches they have previously sold. Some retailers have even hired fresh staff solely dedicated to scanning online advertisements, specifically tasked with identifying customers selling their watches and taking appropriate action. Retailers usually concentrate their efforts on local online platforms where their customers are more likely to advertise these watches. Upon finding a watch they have sold, a Rolex retailer may blacklist the customer or, at least, inform them that they are aware the watch has been sold. Rolex maintains the use of tracking. Another method Rolex could use to potentially discover if you have sold your watch is through inquiries made by customers to authorized dealers for authentication. These inquiries are typically made to confirm the authenticity of a recently acquired Rolex. In 2020, Rolex's ability to track such inquiries underwent a meaningful change with the introduction of a new warranty card design. The updated design no longer includes the name of the original retailer who sold the watch. Consequently, it has become increasingly challenging for both Rolex and its dealers to trace a watch's history back to its initial sale. Because Rolex does not participate in the secondary market, its influence over the distribution of its watches in the resale market is restricted. This poses difficulties for individuals genuinely interested in wearing and enjoying specific Rolex models, as acquiring them becomes increasingly difficult. This scenario has sparked numerous complaints, leaving customers dissatisfied and frustrated with the Rolex brand, which is not beneficial for Rolex. However, from a business standpoint, consistent demand surpassing supply can be advantageous, particularly for luxury brands, as it boosts the exclusivity and desirability of their products. It is crucial to note that Rolex cannot monitor watch sales through the warranty card, as the warranty is linked to the watch itself rather than the individual owner. Consequently, Rolex lacks records or databases indicating when a specific watch has been sold or transferred, setting it apart from some other watch brands. The dynamics of the Rolex watch market, particularly regarding watch flipping practices and the enforcement of regulations by both Rolex and its authorized retailers, are constantly evolving. To safeguard your privacy when selling a Rolex, consider the following practical suggestions. First is to refrain from disclosing the serial number when advertising your watch online and obscure the serial number on the warranty card. Secondly, conceal the retailer's name if your warranty card is an older version that includes it. Also, it is important to obscure the purchase date on the warranty card. Avoid sharing details indicating the original seller, and contemplate selling your watch in a different region or even overseas to minimize the chances of it being traced back to your original retailer. If the watch comes with an older warranty card, advise the buyer to seek authenticity checks from a different authorized dealer rather than the original one. Rolex aims for its official retailers to sell watches to end consumers who will cherish and use them for many years. When customers quickly resell their newly acquired Rolex watches, it contradicts Rolex's intentions. Rolex cannot ascertain whether a watch has been sold through the warranty card, as it is consistently linked to the watch itself rather than to an individual. In contrast to brands like Audemars Piguet or Cartier, which require you to register the watch to your account, Rolex does not maintain ownership registers to track the sale or transfer of a timepiece. The current landscape of the Rolex watch market, encompassing issues such as flipping and the enforcement of regulations by both official Rolex retailers and the brand itself, remains fluid. Whether Rolex becomes aware of a flipped watch depends on a range of factors and may remain undisclosed in many instances. The key takeaway is that selling a Rolex shortly after purchase could draw unwanted attention, particularly if done openly, and might potentially impact future relationships with authorized dealers. What are your impressions on the topic we shared in this video? We would like to see your answers and opinions in the comments section. If you liked this video, let us know that too. Remember to follow us too and give us a thumbs up. Once again, this is the Luxury World, and we look forward to seeing you again in our future videos.